couple weeks back, I made a video voicing the concerns I had regarding Bleach Rebirth of Souls pre-release. Now that it's out and I've spent some time on the game, this video is going to be a follow-up where I pretty much return to the topic to address the things I mentioned and whether I think the game has subdued these concerns or not. Let's make haste and get right into it. So the first and biggest concern I had was regarding the combo potential in this game. Here's what I said. My issue is that I don't think I've seen much variety in the way we can go about this. You see comments and hear around the community that, ooh, this game's gonna have a ton of mixes and combo variety. And I do want to believe that, but when looking at the gameplay myself, it's a bit of a struggle to see what they mean by that. Paraphrasing, I said the combos looked as though they lacked variety and were pretty simplified, which could end up affecting the longevity of the game. After playing the game, I can confidently say it did surpass my expectations by quite a bit. However, it is not perfect. It still leaves a lot of room to yearn for more. What I didn't know pre-release is that you will be able to extend and have some freedom with your combos through the use of methods like reverse activation, through spiritual pressure moves for some characters, and the delay ho-ho technique that was discovered by the community. There's definitely different type of ways to extend your combos, to the point that some characters can even do TODs. The reason I say it's not perfect is because to get to these points, you pretty much have to save every resource that you can in this game, from reverse gauges to SP meters. The game heavily relies on having resources like the reverse meter for you to get access to a bit of creativity in combos. Without that, you are just stuck with the combos that don't really require much thought or timing put into them. It can cause the game to feel a bit slow and lackadaisical at times because you and your opponent are either just poking each other with a stick or having a staring contest. I don't think there's anything wrong with a game having downtime in the middle of matches. My issue is that I think these scenarios occur a bit too often, and it exposes the fact that there isn't much depth in the game when it comes to just using the bare bone combos. Rebirth of Souls offers standard and advanced settings for combos, but even so, when you pick advanced, you are still getting some of your combos finished for you. So it's not really advanced, it might as well just be called semi-assisted. In my opinion anyways. I feel as though a truly advanced setting would allow you to do any input as you like and not having somebody hold your hand while you do it. So yeah, to finalize this, Bleach Rebirth of Souls did subdue some of my concerns regarding combo potential. However, it could still do with a lot of improvements. This was the only thing I had in my concerns when it came to the actual gameplay of Bleach Rebirth of Souls. So now we're going to move on to online. It's just one line and a screenshot of gameplay that isn't even from the online mode itself. What we can surely expect are the staples such as casual and ranked mode. Wait. Now I strongly, vehemently believed that Bleach Rebirth of Souls was going to have casual and ranked matches upon release, but boy was I proven wrong. The game only has free and room matches, which is quite surprising. So I guess the game did fall below my expectations in that sense, simply because it doesn't have ranked. Although they are quote-unquote putting it into consideration, whatever that means. Will there be more? Will there be modes like Tournament, King of the Hill? More importantly, will we have the ability to spectate other people's matches? I'm going to straight up say it, Bleach Rebirth of Souls did not subdue any of my concerns when it came to what I just said. If anything, it validated them even further. There's no King of the Hill, no Endless, no spectating, and lobbies can only hold a maximum of 2 players, which is unfortunate and also very disappointing. The reason why I wanted these things to be in this game upon release was because it will help the community with hosting tournaments or just having a good time watching the matches of their friends and rivals. There hasn't been any mention of this possibly getting added to the game, but I do hope it happens pretty soon. One positive I can put in this is that it's clear that the developers are open to patching this game from time to time, as they've shown recently, so that does give me a bit of hope that they'll eventually add more things to the online section of this game. The next concern I mentioned in that video was regarding the frame rate. My concern was whether PS5 players will be hard locked to 30 FPS if they fight against PS4 players due to their hardware limitations, and I can proudly say that is not the case. Woohoo! It has been tried and tested, and as far as we know, the PS4 player will play on 30 FPS and the PS5 player will still get to keep their 60 FPS, which is amazing. So we gotta give points to Tamsoft for that one. My next concern was regarding the netcode. the netcode, I'm going to be honest guys, I'm already expecting the online connections to be subpar like every other anime game. I straight up said I was not expecting much from it since it's an anime game. We all know how connections in anime games are. After playing the game, it's what I expected. It's not horrible, but it's not amazing either. One thing I can mention is that my experience playing overseas players hasn't been bad at all. There is a bit of delay, but it's extremely playable, especially if it's a free bar and both of you are wired. Now if it's a Wi-Fi warrior, don't even bother playing the damn game, just close that out bruh. That addresses all of my online concerns. So next were my miscellaneous concerns, with the first one being about the HUD. It is a lot on the screen. I mentioned in one of my videos a few months back about how I felt it clogged up the screen, and now that I'm more familiar with the gameplay and how everything works, I still feel the same way. It does look good from an aesthetic standpoint, but I think the health bars are just unnecessarily taking up the entire top part of the screen, and the lack of transparency in it makes things even worse. This was a concern that I knew wouldn't be addressed because it had already appeared to be finalized, so all I can really talk about is whether I feel better about it after playing the game. I can't say that my eyes have adapted a bit more to the HUD. However, it still does get pretty intrusive, especially towards the end of your matches. Not only are you dealing with the HUD, you'll be dealing with Bankai particles, the spirit dive glow, spiritual pressure moves, strike backs, the hit counter, the reverse gauge screaming at you that it's ready to be activated. All of that combined with the HUD makes it harder to fully process what is going on. So I still do wish it would be reduced a bit, but I guess you can't have everything. My final concern was regarding the stage transitions. Tamsoft, could you guys please add some sort of animation between the stage changes, because right now a black screen sort of just disrupts the immersion and it lessens the enjoyment of actually transitioning to another area. The black screen is another thing that I still feel the same way about. I wish there was some sort of animation. A good thing is that upon playing the game, you find out that stage transitions are an offline only thing. I mean, it's never happened to me online, which honestly I'm happy with because it means I've never had to run into the black screen that much. In an offline setting, another problem I have with the stage transition is that there is no option to turn it off. There are certain maps that I like playing on, however I can't spend much time on it because a stage change is likely to happen after 1 or 2 keycon moves, so if Tamsoft could add an option for us to turn it off, that would be amazing. And yeah, that about covers everything that I covered in that previous video. In conclusion, Bleach Rebirth of Souls did subdue some of the concerns I had, however not all of them. Some of them are still glaring in the open, which is a shame, and I just hope eventually they get attended to, especially regarding the online portion, because that section they barely addressed anything in that. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Feel free to leave a like if you did. Apologies for my voice, I've fallen sick again unfortunately, but now I shall ride off into the sunset with Hallibell.